Ryder getting his head back together and looking awfully good in heat number 2 here at the Coliseum. Second spot is still Diamond, and third you can see Holly right back there in the back, hovering in third. But Ronnie Lachine looking awfully good in the second heat at the Coliseum. Lachine has got an odd line around that turn. You can notice he goes to the inside where Diamond goes to the outside. They're starting to lap slower riders, and Ronnie Lachine picks his way through traffic. There's Holly. Holly holding on the third. That's a good transfer spot. As Lachine goes for the gold, he's got the checkered flag. So Ronnie Lachine takes heat number 2. Diamond will take second, Holly third, and George Holland in fourth. David's down on the field with Ron Lachine.
The Green Machine, Ron Lachine. Beautiful ride out there. You're taking it easy, but that track, it can get you squirrely if you relax a little bit. I saw you get off base a little.
Yeah, it's real hard to stay real smooth out there and watch your lines. There's a few lap riders getting in my way a little bit, and it's just a real physically track. You know, you got to really have some strength to get over this stuff.
Good to go into the main event with your pick on a good position on the starting line?
Yeah, that's what I had in mind. You get the good pick when you win your heat, so that's what I had in mind. Hopefully I can do something in the main.
And we're set to go in heat number 3. Keep your eye on Jeff Ward, 1985 Supercross champion, and Keith Bowen, former 125 AMA Rookie of the Year.
Hi, I'm Jeff Ward, 24, Mission Vale, California, Team Kawasaki, ride number 1.
Keith Bowen, Auburn Hills, Michigan, 20 years old. I'll be riding number 9 for Yamaha.
And here we go with heat number 3. The riders rock back and forth on their bikes. Gate is set. It's down. And out in front, a beautiful start for Jeff Ward. It is Wardy on the Kawasaki in front. Looking awfully good. Here's Bowen on the inside trying to go to second, and he's got second. So the stage is set for heat number 3. Jeff Ward in front, Keith Bowen running in second. Billy Lyles in third, and that looks like Russ Wageman running in fourth. Whoa, Ward takes an extremely difficult line, the same line that Lachine took earlier around that turn, but he stays out in front. Ward from Mission Viejo, California. Bowen out of Pontiac, Michigan in second. And Billy Lyles, the Georgia Peach from Fairburn, Georgia in third. Over the triples, Ward looking awfully good. Jeff Ward in front, Bowen running second. Lyles third. Oh, and Wageman goes down. Wageman on the triples drops hard, but off the triples over the other jump is down. It is Ward in front. Bowen running second, stalking him. Billy Lyles in third. Earlier, Dave Stanfield had a chance to talk with Jeff Ward earlier today.
Jeffrey, the number 1 plate, the last time you'll be able to use it in Supercross racing, at least for this year, a little irritating, isn't it? You're out to prove something.
Right, I'm out to win the race. Can't win them every year, but I'm sure give it a try. I just had a few problems this year that's kind of held me back and give the other riders a little comfortable lead over me. So,
you know, it's not the end of the world, and you've had the up and down seasons. You are a competitor, and you are so fast. The problems have not been your speed and your talent.
Right, I'm kind of, I had a lot of problems past years and had a really good, great year last year. But I can't go that way all the time. But, a true champion comes back every year and just keeps going for it, and that's what I'm going to do again next year.
All right, best luck.
Thank you.
No luck intended for Jeff Ward. He's out to win.
Jeff Ward, truly a professional rider, and a tough little cookie, we might add also. Drives a Porsche Turbo in daily driving. Okay, Wardy coming up behind the slower rider, lapping him. It is still Bowen in second spot, but Wardy is playing those poop-de-doos like a violinist, putting that bike exactly where he wants it. You got to have the skill of a brain surgeon to ride Supercross. It sounds odd, but it isn't. You got to be able to put the bike exactly where you want it off jumps. And Jeff Ward is on the gas with Bowen running behind him, back a couple of bikes. It's lap riders between them. Wardy styling over the jumps. The crowd responds, cheering him on, and the riders can hear this, and they respond, especially when they've got a cushion. Jeff Ward squats over 300 pounds, incredibly slow, and there's Bowen, the feet coming off the pegs, possibly getting a little bit tired. He's running in second spot, back a ways behind Wardy, so he's got to transfer to the main. Oh, and he almost goes off the track, comes right back on. Keith Bowen possibly getting tired, losing concentration. All he has to do is hold on a little bit longer, and he's got to transfer to the main as Wardy goes for the victory. And there it is. Woohoo! He gets completely sideways. The crowd's sitting back down again. So Ward takes heat 3, Keith Bowen is second, Billy Lyles third, and Yamaha's Danny Storbeck in fourth. Let's go down to David Stanfield and Jeff Ward on the field.
It wasn't as easy as it looked, actually, but you were making some progress out there more mentally. Tell us a little about passing slower riders and exactly, obviously, the fast lines you were looking for.
Right, yeah, the fast lines out there are, the best line to be in, but when you're behind somebody, that's not always the best line. And, if you follow them, they may fall, you'll go down with them. You can't pass them when you're following them, so you got to find that alternate route.
Looking fast tonight.
Feeling fast.
All right, best of luck tonight to go into Jeff Ward. He's feeling fast. He's obviously looking fast. He's in the main event.
We'll take a short break while Dave is up into the stands to see why this spectator is sitting alone. For Ricky Johnson, Johnny O'Mara, and Scott the Burner Burnworth.
Rick Johnson, 21, from El Cajon, California. I'll be riding the red, Team Honda, number 5.
Hi, I'm Johnny O'Mara from Team Honda. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Gardnerville, Nevada. I'm ride number 3. Scott Burnworth, El Cajon, California, 23 years old. Yamaha Racing, number 18.
Heat number 4, LA Coliseum. The gate drops. Again, a beautiful start. No crashes. And it is Scott Burnworth in front. And you heard David Stanfield earlier talking about Burnworth's incredible ability to get those hole shots. It is Burnworth in front, but look out because Ricky Johnson is right on his back tire. In fact, he's almost got him. And Burnworth slams the door. Scott Burnworth, Hamul, California, down in San Diego County. Ricky Johnson from El Cajon. They've raced together for years. Here's Johnson trying to go around. Burnworth blocks him, and Johnson goes by on the inside. A beautiful move for Johnson. Brian Manley in third, number 93, a privateer from Southern California. His father, Bill, a speedway rider in years past. Brian Manley looking awfully good there in third. But it is Ricky Johnson, the rider the people came to see, out in front. Ricky Johnson, number 5, will carry that number 1 plate all next year. Earlier, David Stanfield had a chance to talk to Ricky Johnson. And Ricky realizes that everybody else is out gunning for him and wants to win tonight.
The competition, the nature of competition. You've got Jeff Ward, who is giving up both his number 1 plates in both those classes as you. He is out to win this race. He has won the last 2 Coliseum races. He wants to make you look bad.
Well, that's what he's got to do because I've made him look bad all year. I've won almost every race except 1 in the Nationals, and I've won 5, and I've gotten 4 seconds in the Supercross. So of course he wants to make me look bad. It's just I imagine that's what he's got to do for his own ego.
Ricky Johnson very, very confident here tonight at the LA Coliseum, and he's got a big, big lead now in this final qualifying heat. Yellow flag indicating a rider has gone down in front of Johnson. Now, they can pass under the yellow. Unlike IndyCar racing, they just got to watch out for the fallen rider. Ricky Johnson all alone in front, going to the peristyle. When Johnson gets out in front, he will do what a lot of top riders do, and that's showboat for the crowd. Get a little bit sideways coming out of the jumps. And we're expecting Johnson to do this pretty quickly. Heat number 4, Autoline, LA Coliseum Supercross. Johnny O'Mara fighting his way up in the pack and trying to pass Manley. Johnny started in 6th spot. He's going for 3rd now if he can pass Brian Manley. Johnny O'Mara looking awfully good here. Trying to pull off a pass of a young privateer. There's Manley all over the track, reeling like a drunken sailor. Whoa! Look out! That is Scott Burnworth, who's running 2nd, almost going down. So it is Burnworth 2nd, Manley 3rd, and now O'Mara in 4th, and trying to go for 3rd. Johnson has got a lead of a country mile. And Manley is holding on to 3rd, trying to hold on to 3rd, and O'Mara's determined to pull it away from him. O'Mara's running in 4th. Here's the scenario. Burnworth in 2nd, Manley 3rd, and O'Mara in the bump spot. He's going to try to pass Manley. They land hard. And here he goes in midair. Oh! Holy Toledo, that's got to jar his ancestors, but it worked. And Johnny O'Mara has passed Bill Manley. Or Brian Manley, rather. Up the uphill. Johnny O'Mara is running in third spot now, chasing Scott Burnworth. He rips the tear-off off, and he comes off the peristyle jump. Johnny O'Mara looking for a second-place finish in this heat. It is number 5, Ricky Johnson, in front. There's a pass earlier, or an attempted pass by Johnny O'Mara. Here he comes up now, and he passes in midair. Looking back at that beautiful jump by O'Mara, he almost goes down, almost lands on the hay bale, manages to save it. Woo! No damage except to his underwear. And he goes right into third spot behind Burnworth. Manley cannot believe the pass. O'Mara passed him in midair. There's O'Mara ripping off that tear-off coming out of the peristyle jump. The tear-offs are the clear covers over the rider's goggles. When they get dirty with mud or dust, the riders rip them off. Scott Burnworth running in second spot behind Johnson. Number 18 is Burnworth. The black leathers. They call him Darth Vader in Super. Oh, a beautiful move by O'Mara. He passes Burnworth on the uphill, and Johnny O'Mara has gone to second. Ricky Johnson out in front by a country mile. The battle is for second spot. There's Johnson now in front. Over the quads, getting sideways. And the crowd responds. They love to see this young man get radical, and he does get radical. Here he is again. Woohoo! Johnson giving the fans their money's worth. Ricky Johnson, number 5, in front. Johnny O'Mara, number 3, in second spot. But it is Johnson's race. Looked like he waved to the crowd there as he went around the turn. He was waving to some of the fans. Here it is. Waving again, the checker flag out, and Johnson takes it sideways. Woo! So Ricky Johnson takes home the bacon in heat number 4. Johnny O'Mara will finish a well-deserved second, Burnworth third, and Brian Meyerstock finishes fourth.
This camera's right over here, Rick. Well, you're supposed to say hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Your mom's here in the stands. A lot of friends are here. You must have given out 30 tickets for your friends to come and watch.
It was real close. I think the number came to about 27, but you know, I've never won here in LA, and I'm really trying hard tonight. You know, I've already won a championship, so I got nothing to lose. I hope it comes down to me, Jeff Ward, Johnny O'Mara, Ron Lachine, a real tough dice in the main event, because I want to show these guys that I deserve the number 1 plate that I'm getting.
Ricky Johnson has this city in the palm of his hand. There's an RJ fan. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned. For the Suzuki Quad Racer Championships. Now, earlier we talked with Bob Hurricane Hanna about these exotic 4-wheel mini sprint cars.
Bob Hurricane Hanna has ridden everything and ridden it fast, from 2 wheels to 3 wheels, and now the 4-wheel machine, the quad machine. What are these, Bob?
Well, they're just a motorcycle like a 2-wheeler with 4 wheels. Makes them a little bit safer, you know. It makes them more versatile for farmers and people who want to ride around, use them as utility vehicles in their yards, on their farms, on their ranches, or just out playing. The quad runner's a little milder, you know. Doesn't mean you wouldn't want to wear that safety equipment. You know, it's still a motorcycle. They're still dangerous if you abuse yourself on them or abuse them, you know. And the quad racer, which is the elite one, it's like an RM, you know, the full-on race model. So you'd want to be pretty talented before you got on this. You'd want to do a little practicing on the quad runner, and always wear the safety equipment, you know.
You know, you're living up in the Sun Valley, Idaho now, and I hear these things can go in the snow and muddy trails and everything.
Right, they're using them everywhere. You know, people are riding around, their wives are riding them around. They ride them with their husband and wives. You know, it's more recreation than a motorcycle. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of it in the next few years.
It's really good for the sport. We've got options for people that really can't ride the 2 wheels. They can go to the 4-wheel here.
Right, you don't need quite the balance you do. The 2-wheelers are kind of exotic, you know, and these are more like a little car, and you can ride around. You can shut it off, sit there, and have a Coke or whatever, talk, and get on, start it, and go. You know, you never even have to step off of it.
The safety tip, obviously the helmet, and what else would you suggest?
I'd wear everything. You know, we wear boots and knee protectors and leathers and shoulder pads and gloves and eye protection always. I wouldn't get on one without it, you know. I'd wear eye protection, helmet, and gloves always, you know.
It's the way to go. It's the way to have a good time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. And there's a family who looks like they'd enjoy a quad runner. And we're ready for the start of the Suzuki Quad Racer Championships. The riders to watch, the top riders from across the United States. Gary Denton, number 3. We caught on the Chino Charger. Mike Holbert, 221, is out of Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. The top rider in the East Coast, and there's the start. And out in front, number 59, Greg Clark. Clark, a Southern... No, check that. He is out of Phoenix, Arizona. and he is out in front. Oh, they're tangling and banging handlebars and going upside down. Woo! It is Clark in front, followed by 221, Mike Holbert. And there is another rider, Jeff Watts, a Southern California rider. He is tangled up, and he is out of the race. Meanwhile, carrying the number one, check that, that's number 59. Greg Clark in front, 221, Mike Holbert running in second spot as Clark almost goes over the handlebars. Mike Holbert from Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, 221. His parents own the High Point motocross track in Mount Morris. He's got a lot of experience, even in the tough winters of Pennsylvania. And he's going to pass. He passes. Holbert goes out in front. Mike Holbert, the quad god who won both the Pontiac Supercross quad racers both nights, is out in front. So it is Holbert in front. Greg Clark running second, and Gary Denton moving up to the pack. 250cc liquid cool rocket chips, fully suspended disc brakes. The Suzuki quad racers are an absolute ball to ride. Holbert looking like he's in complete control. Over the jumps. No! Holbert goes over and down hard. So Holbert bites the dust. And Gary Denton has gone into second spot. Denton, a former Supercross, CMC Supercross champion. And there's Clark. Bumps at one of the jumps, and Denton goes by him. So Gary Denton goes out in front and heading for the checkered flag in this Quad Racer Championship, sponsored by Suzuki here at the LA Coliseum. Denton, he's got the checker, he's got the gold. Going for a $4,000 purse, and Gary Denton wins it. Denton takes the victory. Greg Clark is second, and Mike Sharinga is third. Let's go down to an interview with David Stanfield and the Chino Charger.
The Chino Charger. No more chasing, though, but a great ride.
Yeah, well, I got really, really lucky. I got into some slow riders, and they were running me over. I was getting hung up with them, and I couldn't get around a guy, and they got a good lead, and I was making some time, but I don't think it was going to be enough, and maybe they're riding on the ragged edge, and it paid off for me to be a little consistent.
How much luck? How much skill?
Half and half.
All right, congratulations. Gary Denton winning the Suzuki Quad Racer Chase here.
Thank you.
David, seeing Mike Holbert do this endo reminds me of the biggest crash I've ever seen. The crash was so spectacular, the race promoter used it in a commercial with Ricky Johnson. Let's see this guy earn his wings. Watch this. It's that kind of racing again at the LA Coliseum as every factory team takes on the toughest track ever.
Whoa, now that's no frills flying.
Jason Upshaw, and he is famous for, a lot of things, but one big thing stands out is that horrendous crash or front handlebars get-off you did at the Coliseum. Your thoughts, your feelings as you're going through that thing. I made a mistake. What are you thinking?
Well, I was saying I made a mistake. I missed my brake. I say just hold on and try to save it. Got back on the back of the bike. As I was flipping through the air, as I was going through the air, I thought I had it saved. All of a sudden, my body starts going over forwards into a flip. I tuck my head and land so I won't land on my head, so I tucked. If you watch it, you can tell.
You're okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay. It didn't even hurt me then.
Don't attempt this stunt at home.
I kid about saying I'm going to do it again, but I'm not going to. No way.
Don't go away. More exciting Supercross from the Coliseum coming up.
This is the amazing Suzuki Quad Sport. It has more headroom than fine American luxury cars. It is faster on rugged terrain than most exotic. It displays better handling under treacherous conditions than the high-performance sedans of Germany. Only Suzuki gives you the choice of 8 different quad runners, the most extensive line of 4-wheel ATVs off the road today. Suzuki Quad Runners, the foremost in 4-wheeling.
Number 1. These are the big bikes. Set to go. There is Eric Kehoe right in the center. Bob Hanna's in this race. Jeff Frizz, Russ Wageman. And it is Frizz getting the whole shot. Jeff Frizz definitely not on the Frizz. Gets out in front. Russ Wageman looks like he is running in second spot. It is Frizz and Wageman. Wageman trying to go by on the inside, and Wageman's got the lead. Russ Wageman, Yamaha mounted. Another Southern California lad out in front. Jeff Frizz running in second. Eric Kehoe is third. And Bob Hurricane Hanna is running in fourth. Russ Wageman, we went to Japan with him a couple of years ago for the Kyoto Supercross. A young, tough rider from Southern California. Real broad shoulders, about 5'8". Lives, breathes, and loves Supercross. Oh! He lands hard, real hard, and takes a hard shot to the groin. And it looks like Russ Wakeman is out, and I don't blame him a bit. He landed hard. That will put Jeff Frizz, number 41, out in front. Frizz around the peristyle. Looks like Kehoe has gone to second. Jeff Frizz comes down the peristyle, lands hard, but not as hard as way through the bubble. And there is Kehoe. You can see him coming up on the outside. Jeff Frizz, 41, Kehoe, number 8. And Bob Hurricane Hanna is right behind Kehoe. Oh, and there goes Frizz. He is over the hay bales, and Kehoe goes into the lead. So Jeff Frizz, a momentary lapse of concentration, puts him into the hay bales, and Eric Kehoe, Team Suzuki, is out in front. It is Eric Kehoe around the peristyle and running second, none other than Bob Hurricane Hanna. Kehoe and Hanna, 1 and 2 for Team Suzuki. Here comes Hanna through traffic. Number 7, Bob Hurricane Hanna, the winningest rider in American motorsports history. Nobody has won more races, any type of races, than Bob Hurricane Hanna. But he's 29, and the question is, how long can he keep going? And right now, number 15, Tacoma, Washington's Eric Eaton is right behind Hanna. Bob Hanna coming up to the jump. He holds his hand up. David Stanfield, what was Hanna doing?
Hanna said earlier he will not attempt the quads. He will go over them 2 at a time. He will double them, then he goes off course.
Hanna goes off the track and crashes. Eric Eaton goes into second. Bob Hurricane Hanna, he said he would not go over the quads, and he went off the track. A tough break for the Hurricane. That will put Eric Eaton into second. And remember, the first 2 go to the main event. The rest have got to go to the last chance qualifier. Hanna links back into the action, and here is Eric Kehoe out in front, the checkered flag. So Kehoe takes the victory. Eric Eaton is second, and Hanna will have to ride the last chance qualifier. Let's take another look back at the Hanna get-off. He goes to the outside of the whoops. The bike getting out of control. He gets sideways, tries to save it, and goes into a hay bale and is thrown over the bars. Hanna goes down hard. He tries to get up. Still trying to get back in the action, but no, Hanna is out. He'll have to ride the last chance qualifier. We go to semi number 2. It is Brian Manley. Out in front, Jeff Lease, the Australian champion, in second spot. Manley, number 93, in front. Jeff Lease, who crashed so hard at the Anaheim race earlier this year, broke his jaw, was out for a couple of months, is running second. So Manley gets rammed by Lease, but he holds on. Brian Manley, number 93, the son of Bill Manley, Speedway star a few years back, out in front. Jeff Lease, Australian Supercross champion, who opted to come to this country and race in the American races to pick up experience, is running second. And there's a checkered flag. And Brian Manley wins semi number 2. Jeff Lease, the Australian, is second. Now here's an Autolite spark plug performance tip from 12-time Pro Stock champion Terry Vance, brought to you by the makers of Autolite motorcycle spark plugs.
Hi, I'm Terry Vance. Does your motorcycle have a wiggle or a shimmy at high speeds or in a turn? If so, we're going to help you today solve that problem with the proper suspension settings. First, we're going to start with the front end. For the proper settings of the front end, the preload needs to be set. This can be done at the top of the fork crown on each of the fork legs. Regardless of the setting, it needs to be even with the rear suspension. This will enable a safe and straight ride. The rear suspension setting can be made by adjusting the double collar on the shock. This will enable you to set your suspension so that it matches your front. Soft or hard, it needs to match the front suspension to eliminate the wiggle in your bike. With the proper settings now made, the motorcycle should have an even feel to it. Both the front and rear suspensions should move up and down together. This will eliminate the wobble that you would encounter on the freeway or in a straight line. Remember this, it will make a much safer ride for your motorcycle.
Coliseum Supercross, and what could be the most important race of the night, certainly the most exciting, as only one rider goes to the main from the last chance qualifier. Out in front, it looks like Mike Byer of Orange, California, number 34, and Jeff Hicks right next to him, number 21. Hicks, originally from Atwater, Ohio, now living in El Toro, California. And they are handlebar to handlebar. And the question is, where's Bob Hurricane Hanna? Dave Stanfield, how long has it been since Hanna's had to ride a last chance qualifier?
It's been years. Right now he's in 4th place, and he's being pressured.
Mike Beyer, Orange, California, on the Yamaha Privateer, followed by number 21, Jeff Hicks. And they are going at it in this last chance qualifier, and only the winner goes to the main event. Mike Beyer going for air, opening up a lead now over Hicks. Can Hicks catch him? Hicks looks like Hanna, built about the same, even talks like Hanna. We were in Winnipeg last year with Hicks for the Arena Cross. He's got the same dry Hanna sense of humor. We're going to find out right now, Dave Stanfield, if he's got the same drive that Hanna's got, if he can pull off a win here.
Oh, he sure does. Again, these are the guys that did not qualify in their heat races or the semifinals. Their last chance.
And there is Bob Hanna running back about 5th spot at this point. Bob Hurricane Hanna is going to have to pull off a miracle if he's going to go to the main event. Meanwhile, Mike Beyer in front of the white Yamaha. Jeff Hicks in 2nd spot on the Honda. Human pogo sticks over the jumps. Now through the whoops. Beyer and Hicks. The back wheel. Oh, and Hicks almost goes down. He saves that one, but gives Beyer some breathing room, and it's only an 8-lap race. Mike Beyer and Jeff Hicks going at it for the last chance qualifier. Their battle is pulling them away from the rest of the pack. Now, Hicks gets on the gas and goes by. Unbelievable. Dave Stanfield, did you see that pass?
Squared it off. Inside, took the great inside line. Byers, I believe, just missed it.
Mike Beyer in 2nd spot now as they go about 20, 25 feet in the air. Hicks and Beyer. Number 21, Hicks, is your leader. And again, just the winner goes to the main. Here comes Beyer on the inside. Hicks almost goes down. Holy Toledo. What a battle between Jeff Hicks, number 21, and Mike Beyer, number 34. Beyer is on his back tire. He is on him like Russian radiation. And Hicks is riding like Charlie Manson. I don't believe this guy. He's all over the track. Jeff Hicks, 21, Beyer to the inside, cuts him off, and Beyer takes the lead. And Hicks tries to take it back and doesn't. They go through the tunnel. Beyer tries him up against the tunnel. Mike Beyer in front, Hicks running in 2nd spot. Over the big jumps. Beyer back in front in what has become the most exciting race of the night so far. Mike Beyer, a privateer. That means he is not factory supported. He drives to the races himself, pays all his own expenses. A lot of the privateers do their own wrenching on the bikes. Hicks, the same situation. He came from the cold weather of Atwater, Ohio, and moved to Southern California so he could ride the circuit. Lives in Hanna's house in El Toro. Mike Beyer going for air. Gets up in the air and goes a long distance. Hicks comes down a little bit further. And the white flag is out. Oh! And Hicks passes in midair. I couldn't believe that. I think Beyer actually looked up, David Stanfield, to see Hicks go over him.
Oh, he sure did. Exactly what Ricky Johnson did earlier.
Mike Beyer has now found himself in the role of the bridesmaid. He's got to catch Jeff Hicks to take over the win, or he is out for the night. We're in the final lap of the Coliseum. Jeff Hicks, 21, Mike Beyer, number 34. Bob Hanna is running back about 3rd at this point, but is out of the action. Jeff Hicks, an incredible pass. He passed Beyer 15 feet over Beyer's head, and Beyer was in the middle of a jump. Beyer never even knew what hit him. Jeff Hicks, 21, trying to hold on. Here's where he can go down. He goes over right in front of Beyer and almost takes Beyer down. The final lap, Hicks and Beyer. And Hanna running 3rd. He will not make the main. And right now it could be either one of these gentlemen. Jeff Hicks or Mike Beyer. Ohio versus California. The final few feet in this last chance qualifier. And here it comes. The checkered flag, it's going to be Hicks. He comes down. I think he thought Beyer won it, but Hicks won the race. So Jeff Hicks will go to the main. Mike Beyer will go home on the Greyhound bus.
Yeah.
Jeff Hicks, he still doesn't know he won that race. It was that close. Let's take a look back at that incredible pass. There's Beyer. Now watch Beyer look up at Hicks as he comes over him. Watch this. There's Hicks. Beyer looks up. And what happened to Bob Hanna? Dave Stanfield?
Bob Hanna, you gave it your best.
Yeah, that's all I had tonight, you know. Looks like I'm about had it.
No, you aren't. Hey, they love you out there. You really gave it a good try. The heat race turned into a consolation there, and the consolation you're hoping for a first-place finish, but that just didn't happen. That crash you had earlier in the night, did that injure you?
That hurt me a little bit, but that isn't the reason I didn't make it. You know, I didn't make it just because I just wasn't going fast enough, that's all.
We were talking about the triples and the doubles and clearing some jumps, and if you just don't do it, it's just not going to happen.
No, if you're not brave enough, you're not going to do it indoors. You know, outdoors is where I'm going to ride the rest of my career, and I don't know how long that'll be. You know, maybe July this year, maybe July next year. That'll be the end of that.
Hey, well, we hate to see you go in Supercross, but I'll tell you one thing. You have 55,000 fans here at least.
Thank you. I hope they're still there next year.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bob.
All right. Bye-bye.
We're back at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum for the 125 main event. The top riders from across the west coast of America gathered here on the floor of the Coliseum. They lean forward on their bikes. The gate drops, and they're off. And coming from the extreme outside, the left side of the screen, and cutting diagonally across the front of the riders, the front of the pack, that is David Graff, a privateer on a Honda. Oh, and 2-3 riders go down to the back of the pack. David Graff over the jump, out in front. He is followed by Wild Willie Surratt. Surratt almost runs into Graff. Over the whoop-to-doos. It is still David Graff in front, trying to hold on, and Willie Surratt is putting the pressure on him. David Graff sideways over the jump. Willie Surratt right on his back tire, and he passes in midair. Incredible pass by Willie Surratt. Surratt takes the lead in midair. They go through the whoops. Graff starting to wobble. Look out, and Graff goes down. He actually runs into the rear of Willie Surratt. Woo, and that's it. Graff gets down. He gets back up again. There are 100,000 seats in the Coliseum. David Stanfield talks about one of those seats. David?
If Bob Uecker could ever get to the front row, he'd want it right over here. These are the seats. I don't know, they probably cost $20, but this is the triple jump here. They go high, they go far. They've got a real steep jump, and they've got a pretty good landing here, but these guys are crazy. You want to watch them. On their left-hand side, they're downshifting for this finish line jump. On the right side, if they get a little out of control, they're tapping the rear brake to try to control themselves. Larry, it is great down here. Back to you up top.
Wild Willie Surratt out in front, and he's being pressured by number, looks like 17. Behind him, the white flag comes out. Now, this is a championship that Surratt is going for. David Stanfield, explain the situation with the championship.
This is the 125cc Western Region Championship. The last race, Donnie Schmidt has the lead. He's from Bloomington, Minnesota. He has the lead in the championship standing, so it's a race within a race, but Willie Surratt has to win, and Donnie Schmidt has to get a fourth or worse. So Willie Surratt is racing for the big win, but he's hoping that Donnie Schmidt can't get win the top four spaces.
Okay, Willie Surratt trying to hold off a last-minute charge there and going for the lead. That is 87. I believe that's Trey Dirks, the Honda rider, in second spot. Surratt holding on to the lead. The final lap on the 125 championship here at the Coliseum. Getting sideways over those quad jumps. Oh, and Surratt almost goes down. The feet blade in the air, off the pegs. Heading for the checkered flag. Willie Surratt, he doesn't know if he's got the championship or not. And he is holding on to the lead in the final moments of this 125 main event. Trey Dirks moving up behind him. Checkered flag coming out. Surratt's got a little bit of breathing space. And there's the checkered. Willie Surratt takes the victory. Drew Dirks second, Donnie Schmidt third. That'll give Schmidt the championship, Eddie Hicks fourth. Let's go down to David Stanfield and an unhappy Willie Surratt.
Okay, you did win. You did go out there. You were getting a little wild, a little tired at the end. Over on the backside, the whoop-de-doos section, what were you thinking?
I just didn't want him to pass me just in case Schmidt finished farther enough back. I'd like to thank Rick and Alan Greenwood from Dunlop, Jim Mahill from Axo, and all the guys from Honda.
The big Autolite winner here tonight in the 125 class. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you, David, and we'll be right back for the 250 main event, the most important race of the year.
The new Honda Reflex. It'll take you places you've never been before. And back.
Larry Huffman back at the Los Angeles Coliseum in the Autolite LA Coliseum Supercross and the main event, the final race of the year, and the top riders coming out on the line now. The riders to look at, well, Jeff Ward, the final time he will carry that #1 plate, Team Kawasaki. Going up against Jeff Ward, a rider he's had a lot of problems with in the past, Johnny O'Mara, former Supercross champion, yet to win a Supercross this year. Everybody's favorite, Ricky Johnson, RJ, Team Honda, who has dominated Supercross this year. He'll carry the #1 plate next year. Ron Lechien, Team Kawasaki, long overdue for a Coliseum victory. And Keith Bowen, Team Yamaha's Great Yellow Hope, the rider from Pontiac, Michigan, lining up for the main event. They are set. The 250cc main event here at the Coliseum. The gate ready to drop. It's down, and they are off. Down the front straightaway they go, and it is Ronnie Lechien, Team Kawasaki, taking the whole shot with Jeff Ward right behind him and Ricky Johnson in third. Whoa, Lechien gets a beautiful start. Johnson trying to go to second, slams into Ward. It is Lechien out in front, and is he going to win his first Supercross of the year? Jeff Ward goes back into second. Johnson had it for a moment, and Jeff Ward took it back. There's a shot of Ron Lechien, your leader. Jeff Ward, the feet off the pegs, and here's Holly coming out of nowhere. Jim Hollywood Holly, number 12 out of Northridge, California, has gone into third spot ahead of Ricky Johnson. And this is shocking about 50,000 people here at the Coliseum. Jim Hollywood Holly has gone to third. Lechien, Ward, Holly, and Johnson. Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Honda. Ron Lechien out in front. David Stanfield out on the field. Any surprises here?
One surprise. Ricky Johnson rode so hard in his first heat race so he could get the pole position or his pick on the line. He did that, but he got a slow start.
He did indeed. And Ron Lechien did not get a slow start. He is out in front. 20 laps. Remember, 20 laps for the main event, the 250 main event. And there's a shot at the human pogo sticks flying over the jumps, and look at the height they get. Here comes Johnson back up again next to Holly. He's going to try to take Holly out on the inside. He has got him, and Holly takes it back, and Johnson takes it back. And Johnson comes out on top of that little fray, and Holly goes back in front. Holy Toledo, and Johnson muscles his way by him. It is a knockdown, drag-out brawl between Ricky Johnson and Jim Holly. They're just battling for third. It has been said, and maybe David Stanfield can hear me down the field, there's nothing more exciting in Supercross to watch Ricky Johnson come up through the pack. David?
He is a master through the whoops, and he has that throttle wide open. He'll sit way back on his back. He's got a lot of strength. He used to weigh 160, then he went to 170. Now he's 180 pounds of muscle.
Almost going down. That was 180 pounds of muscle, almost going on the ground right there. Here's Ward taking a wide line, trying to get around Lechien. They come over the top of the peristyle, and down to the bottom, it's still Lechien in front. Lechien and Ward, two supremely conditioned athletes. They are able to run 6-minute miles, 5-6 miles at a time. Tremendous upper body strength. And Ward hammers at Lechien now. They are on the same team, but there is ask no quarter and give no quarter. Getting a little bit wild there on the whoops. Lechien holding on in front. Now Johnson looking good in third spot. David Stanfield, what's the story with Johnson?
Johnson is so strong during the whoops, and he's got another advantage. I think he is really fast up going through the peristyle there. He is making up so much time.
Ronnie Lechien out in front. Ward right on his back tire. Ward trying to go to the inside. Lechien slams the screen door in his face. Johnson in third, looking for a place to pass. 1, 2, 3. Lechien, Ward, and Johnson. The crowd getting excited. Holly sitting in fourth. Here goes Johnson. Not quite. He goes again. And he almost passes Ward. Almost runs into Ward and gets by him. So it is Johnson into second. Hopscotching all over the track. Going through the whoops. Lechien, Johnson, and Ward. And Lechien is very difficult to pass, David Stanfield.
Lechien is very tough, and Johnson knows that. They've had battles in the past. They've rammed one another. They are a great duel. It's more like roller derby out there right now.
Or roller ball. I'm not sure, one or the other. Ronnie Lechien, number 2, out of El Cajon, California. Ricky Johnson, also from El Cajon, in second spot. And Jeff Ward of Mission Viejo sitting in third. Johnson is stalking Lechien now. They come up to the jumps, to the whoops. Oh, Lechien comes over and almost runs into Johnson and almost takes him out, and Johnson has got to be mad about that. Johnson goes by. A beautiful move. Lechien let off the throttle for just a moment, and Johnson went by him. So Ricky Johnson has taken over the lead here in the Super Bowl of motocross at the Los Angeles Coliseum. It is Johnson, Lachine, number 2, and Lachine is not letting up a bit. He goes back in front for a moment. He's back in front, and Johnson takes it back from him. Johnson runs into Lachine. What a battle between Lachine and Johnson right now is out in front. Ward up in the air, 15, 20 feet in the air with the jumps. Holly moving up. That is O'Mara now, has gone to 4th. Johnny O'Mara, number 3, is into 4th spot, and is Johnson in front. Then Lachine, number 2, then Ward, number 1, and Johnny O'Mara in 4th spot, number 3. Ricky Johnson, last year at the Rodell Cup, came out here swinging. A lot of the riders sandbagged because of the 2-row start. Johnson came out and said, I came here to race, and that's exactly what he's doing tonight. Rips off and tear off. Still in front. Johnson, then Lachine, then Ward. And Ward has gone to 2nd. Jeff Ward slips by Lachine and goes to 2nd, so it is Johnson, Ward, Lachine. Let's take a look back at that pass. David Stanfield.
RJ tries the inside line over the quads. It doesn't make it. He backs off just a little bit, then tries the outside, and watch his form over the whoop-de-doos. So smooth and strong. He's a little bit further back. His butt's way over the rear fender. He's got it full throttle, and he hits to the short to slammer in first, and I'll tell you, he's going to stay there if he can.
He's looking awfully good. There's another look at it.
Look at that inside line. Lachine knows he's there. That's the only way you can hold back Johnson. Not a good line. He just about hits tires. That would have been a bad mistake if he would have went down.
Yes, it would. And Johnson comes right back again when Lachine didn't expect him to and passes him. Meanwhile, it is Johnson out in front, number 5, and building up a lead. Jeff Ward 2nd, Lachine 3rd, and Johnny O'Mara in 4th. We'll be right back for more exciting Supercross action from the L.A. Coliseum. We're back at the L.A. Coliseum for the Autolite L.A. Coliseum Supercross. And still, Ricky Johnson is in front. Johnny O'Mara has slipped into 3rd in front of Ron Lachine. 50,000 people standing and cheering, watching this young gladiator. Johnson out in front. Jeff Ward running in 2nd. O'Mara is right behind Ward. O'Mara tries to go to the inside, almost takes out Ward. Any surprises, David Stanfield, with Johnny O'Mara running 3rd?
Yes, he's in 3rd place. He wants to be in 1st. He wants to win this real bad. But I'll tell you one thing. What we've got to watch for is, can RJ stay in the lead? Will he make any mistakes? These guys are moving so fast, they're going to move up on RJ.
The crowd cheering on Jeff Ward and O'Mara. The battle for 2nd as Ricky Johnson goes out in front and stays out in front. Johnson, sponsored by a Southern California surfwear. He wears the most outlandish clothes at press conferences and when he's in civilian clothes. But when he gets out on the track, this guy is serious. The battle is for 2nd. Ward is trying to hold off a rider he has battled over the years, Johnny O'Mara. They're both from Southern California. Ward started racing minicycles when he was 5 years old. O'Mara started in his teens racing motocross, picked up a Honda sponsorship. He won the 125 U.S. Grand Prix back in 1980 on a private Mugen Honda, then was picked up by Honda and has done very well ever since. He's a marathon runner. And here's O'Mara on the inside, Ward on the outside, through the whoops. Up over the jump, the tabletop jump, and Jeff Ward is holding on to 2nd. Ricky Johnson in front, Ward running 2nd, O'Mara 3rd. And there's a shot of Johnson way out in front. He loves the accolades of the crowd. Let's go back just a few moments ago.
This is how Ricky Johnson passed Jim Hollywood Hawley, and it was a tough battle. If Hollywood Hawley could have held him off, I think Hollywood would have went on and possibly beat everybody else. He really wanted this bad. Here's was his test.
A lot of riders will back off when Johnson starts to go by, and Holly does. He is tough. But Johnson finally got around him. Meanwhile, back in. Here's another look back at the battle with Johnson and Ward earlier.
Mid-air pass. RJ just sneaks right underneath Jeff Ward. It surprised him, and Ward gets a little bobbly there. RJ throttles it through the whoops.
He did not expect him to go by at that point. Here again, the battle, the pass of Johnson and Lachine. Look at Lachine come over and almost take out Johnson. That's dangerous, Dave Stanfield.
Within 1.5 feet in the air and within 1 inch on the rear tire, and Johnson would have been on his head.
He would have been right up in the cheap seats. And there he goes by Lachine. That's a mark of a champion. He did not let that throw him off. He got right back on the gas and passed Lachine where Lachine wasn't expecting it. Okay, now Johnson, look at the lead Johnson has over 2nd place. Now he'll start styling it over the jumps. He responds to the crowd. He can hear the crowd cheering him on. Meanwhile, the battle for 2nd as O'Mara starts putting the pressure on Ward. Ward number 1 on the Kawasaki, O'Mara number 3 on the red Honda, the blood red Honda. And here's O'Mara on the outside, Ward on the inside. Ward stalls for just a second. Now O'Mara comes back to the inside. Ward is watching both sides. He's got to have eyes in both both the front of his head and the back of his head to watch O'Mara, because O'Mara will try to pass him. Johnson, oh, beautiful poetry in motion. 20 feet in the air over the whoops. Oh, and he gets wild. David Stanfield, what happened?
It looks like a photographer stuck his head out and flashed right in RJ's eyes, and he lost concentration, got a little sideways.
Oh, almost a very, very treacherous accident that could have ended as a nightmare for Ricky Johnson. Ward was close enough to seize that opportunity and go by. Had Johnson gone down. But Ricky Johnson continues to hold on to the lead.
Looking back at one of RJ's earlier bobbles, this part of the track has been giving him fits all night long, and believe it or not, he invented this. He's the one that wanted these whoop-de-doos here.
Radical Ricky Johnson, number 5, earlier in this main event. Gets a little bit sideways. Another look at him, David.
He does it again, comes off that finish line double, gets a little wild there. There's the photographer, and there's the flash, and that doesn't help all. Knocks the hay bale. That's the last time you'll see the photographer get that close.
That's right. That's the last time you'll look at a pass to go down to the field. Ricky Johnson out in front in the main event here at the Coliseum. Larry Huffman and David Stanfield follow the action. The crowd cheering him on. The corner workers cheering him on. And here is the battle with O'Mara and Ward. And O'Mara goes by! Ward went to the outside, and Johnny O'Mara slipped by slicker than a mayonnaise sandwich. Whoa! So Johnny O'Mara has got second. Now Ward trying to take it back, and Joe O'Mara slams it in his face. Johnny O'Mara, number 3, out of the San Fernando Valley, is running in second spot, and Ward is running in third. David Stanfield, let's call the action in slow motion.
Two great former champions here. They will try any line, and they are not afraid to use the entire track. Here, Johnny O gets the big air, tries the inside line, Ward to the outside. Not a good move there. Johnny with the straighter line into the uphill through the peristyle. But Jeff Ward can try anything here. Watch this. The bank off it. He is fast.
Okay, meanwhile out in front it is. Well, there is Johnny O'Mara running in second spot with Ricky Johnson out in front. O'Mara has got second locked up. If he can hold on for a few more laps. Jeff Ward finishing third. That's not where he wanted to finish. Here is where he wanted to finish, out in front like Ricky Johnson. Whoa, Johnson leaping about 90 feet in the air. Comes down kind of hard on that jump, then through the whoops. That peristyle uphill seems to be giving a lot of riders fits, David Stanfield.
Except Ricky Johnson. He loves that uphill. He loves uphills, downhills. He loves to ride anywhere. He enjoys the Glamis sand dunes out in Southern California. He calls it therapy when he's out there riding.
You had a chance to talk with him earlier out of Glamis.
The big bike you're riding today, you've wrapped up both the Supercross title and the Outdoor 250 title. Now it's time to get serious on the 500. Yeah. And this is a real good place to practice.
Oh, yeah. It's not so much a good training ground, but it's a good place to get the feel of the bike, know what it's like to fly the thing, because it's a little bit heavier. It's a lot different sensation to jump a 500 than it is a 250. So it's a good place to come and get a good release. It's not so much hard training, but you have a lot of fun, and also you get down to the fundamentals of riding.
RJ, winning all these titles, and you're constantly racing week in and week out. I hear that you're going to be doing an upcoming motion picture.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the stunt doubling for the lead character in the movie Hole Shot. You know, you see lots of exciting stuff in Supercross and double jumps and triple jumps, but we're going to be shooting the opening scenes for the movie Hole Shot out here in the dunes. I mean, you'll see things like never seen before done on a motorcycle.
And Ricky Johnson doing something he's done many times before, leading a Supercross race. It is Ricky Johnson, number 5, picking his way through the pack, through the lap riders. He has already got the National Supercross Championship wrapped up, and we are in the waning moments of this 250 main event here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Johnson picking his way through the whoops. Back in second spot, his teammate, Johnny O'Mara. As Johnson laps slower riders, he goes by Alan King. This can be dangerous, David Stanfield, trying to get by slower lap riders, because they can take you out.
Especially when you're in first place and you're the first one to lap them. They have no idea where they are in a race, and when RJ comes around, they're going to say, uh-oh, the fast guys are coming. So RJ is going to serve notice that there's a bunch of other fast guys coming behind. So it's harder for them, easier for Johnny O'Mara and the rest of the pack.
Ricky Johnson putting on an incredible show here for over 50,000 fans. He goes up the peristyle again. And it's very difficult when they come out of the peristyle because of the lighting. They come off the top of the peristyle. They can't see anything below them except blackness. and they've got to trust their instincts to set the bike down in the right place. The pitman, the mechanic of Ricky Johnson, holding the sign out. Brian Lunas telling him how many laps there are to go, how far out in front he is. And the mechanic's role in Supercross, a very important one, David Stanfield.
Brian Lunas has trained some of the biggest and the best. Donnie Holshot Hansen, 4 years with Bob Hurricane Hanna, and now he's got the champ himself, Ricky Johnson.
Ricky Johnson setting an incredible pace, a big lead. He has got nobody behind him. Nothing but clear air behind him as he heads again into that peristyle area, or just a few moments into the peristyle area. The final waning moments. Johnny O'Mara running in second spot, back quite a ways. In third spot, that is Jeff Ward, Ron Lachine. Jim Hollywood Holly is holding on to fifth spot at this point. Scotty Burnworth in sixth, Mickey Diamond in seventh. But the race belongs to Ricky Johnson. Landing a little bit hard. As we said earlier, he goes over these jumps, he'll get sideways and style it a little bit for the crowd. And he hears the crowd, he'll react to them. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward back in third spot at this point in the race, holding on to third. Just lapped Alan King, number 17. Ricky Johnson coming up now on Scott Burnworth, number 8. He will have lapped, I have to check that, that's Eric Kehoe, number 8. He will have lapped virtually 3/4 of the field at this rate. Eddie Warren right in front of him, number 23.
The problem here is if he runs into a slower rider, Larry, any kind of bobble, like right there, he just got cut off. He could go down really hard, really quickly by a slower rider.
And we've seen that happen several times before when a rider comes up, or a slower rider does not expect him. As we saw earlier with that Mike Byer Jeff Hicks battle, you don't expect a rider to come flying over your head. And Johnson will. And there's the checkered flag. And Ricky Johnson takes it one-handed over the jump. And the crowd standing and cheering. Ricky Johnson, Team Honda, has won both the Coliseum Supercross and the Supercross Championship. We're back at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Ricky Johnson has won it. Johnny O'Mara second. Jeff Ward, Ron Lachine, and Jim Holly rounding out the top 5. So an incredible capping off to an incredible season. Ricky Johnson, you won here at the Coliseum. One heck of a race.
Yeah, I felt really good out there, Larry. I got up to the kind of start that I wanted. I wanted to watch Lachine and also Ward. They both had some unique lines out there. They're both two completely different riding styles. So I figured if I could watch their lines, use theirs if they're better, and stick to mine if mine worked better, and then get around them, and that's what I did, and it worked out really well.
You made it very exciting, too. The first part of the race was unbelievable when you started reeling them in.
Yeah, I got really close over, in fact, the two farthest jumps, over the finish line jump and also the quads. Over the quads, I got really close to Ronnie Lachine. He heard me coming up on the left side of him, and he cut over on me, which was kind of a stupid move. It could have taken us both out really bad, but it worked out pretty well. And also when I got by Jeff on the finish line jump.
So no problems.
No problems there. It was just real good, close racing.
Miss Autolite has got the trophy. George Kershaw from Autolite has got the congratulations, and we want to say unbelievable race.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations from Autolite.
Thank you. Thank you. This thing's gonna pop.
There's a...
So Ricky Johnson wins both the battle and the war. David Stanfield, any surprises tonight?
Well, the surprise was it was a 4-lap battle, but the crowd kind of wanted Ricky to get behind. They loved to see him come up. So for the first 4 laps, it was fantastic. And one thing that was really unique, Ricky Johnson taught a lot of racers a good trick. Pass at the least unexpected place, and that was the most crucial, that mid-air jump after that finish line.
That's right.
Very dangerous, but his competitors weren't expecting that at all.
No, and he picked up about 50,000 more fans, I think, tonight, if it's possible for this kid to have any more fans.
Oh, he sure did.
Unbelievable race. And that's it from the L.A. Coliseum and the Autolite L.A. Coliseum Supercross. I'm Larry Huffman along with Dave Stanfield. Thanks for joining us. The Autolite L.A. Supercross is brought to you by Autolite Motorcycle Spark Plugs. Autolite, a good name to go with. And by Suzuki Quad Runners, foremost in four-wheeling. The Autolite Los Angeles Coliseum Supercross from the Coors Supermoto Motocross was produced for ESPN by People and Properties and Leisure Tech Corporation. This has been a World Supercross Association television production from John Bradley Entertainment.